They were the man of the hour, Amir Mansour.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
So you're coming off a very, very tough but competitive, very close fight with Steve Cunningham. Probably the Philadelphia Fight of the Year so far. What's life been like since then?
Hell. Nobody like losing, especially me. I hate losing more than I love winning, you know what I'm saying? So, it's never gonna be good for me with any type of defeat, whether it's in the ring or out the ring, you know what I'm saying? So, it's been like hell, you know what I mean? Because you don't get a second chance sometimes, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people want to see the rematch, but I doubt if that's going to happen. And of course, I would want the rematch as well. I think if we fought 100 times, I'd beat him, but I could never beat his daughter. You know what I'm saying? She's a warrior, man. So, you got to get past stuff like that anyway. You know what I'm saying? You fall, you get back up, man, and keep it moving. That's what I'm doing.
Okay. When did you know that you were, going to get another fight?
About a month and a half ago, maybe. 2 months ago.
And this opponent, Fred Kasi, do you know much about him?
I don't know nothing about him, but it doesn't bother me because I don't study none of my fighters' tapes. I let my trainers and stuff like that study the fighters, you know what I mean? And they'll tell me, what they think or whatever, so we don't know nothing about them. It doesn't even matter though.
Doesn't matter. Okay, so you listen to your trainers, instructions, and you just go by that in your training camp. Have you looked at your fighters, fights in the past though? Does that change anything for you?
I never ever myself personally studied any fighter that I ever fought.
Okay.
Like I said, I leave it up to my trainer. He would watch tapes of fighters, and he would tell me, all right, you want to knock him out with this punch, or this punch is going to be more effective, or this move is going to be more effective, and I just take it from there. But in this sport right here, when you get in the ring, man, your trainer can't come with you, so his trainer can't come with him. He has his arsenal, I have mine, and that's what it is. You could train for me all day, but you're never going to get the same fighter over and over again with me. Even if you look at all my fights, you really don't see the same guy every single time, except, with the consecutive knockouts and stuff like that, but you never see the same exact fighter.
Would you say that your knockout power, going for the knockouts in your fights, because you want the knockout. Is that? That's something that you go for. Do you think that cost you against Cunningham? Not being able to, put him down for good.
No, you want to try and put the guy down. What cost me against Cunningham? I sincerely feel as though that because I just didn't knock him out. It's sort of like with Ray Leonard and Hearns. Ray Leonard and Hagler. Hagler didn't knock him out, so he lost. You know what I mean? Because Ray survived, he won. He just pity patted the guy throughout the rounds. He didn't land any really solid shots on him.
Is that how you feel your fight with Cunningham was?
Yeah, I feel like I won that fight. Every boxing enthusiast, every boxing writer, every boxing person that I spoke to that watched that fight told me that they sincerely thought I won. I haven't met one person that said otherwise. So yeah, but like I said, I can't sit and boo-hoo about that, you know what I mean? And like I said, a loss is a loss, you know what I'm saying? You gotta take it and just keep moving.
Okay.
And I learned from it, of course, you know what I mean? My biggest mistake, though, you know what I'm saying, is losing my composure after like the 6th round, you know what I mean? Just not keeping things tight, you know what I'm saying, and losing my composure.
Overall, how far do you think that set back your plans?
I really don't know. You would have to ask that man that how far it is. You know? But I mean, there's some losses where you look at it and you say, man, he got his ass whooped. There's nothing he could have done to win. And then there's some losses you look and you say, you know what, it could have went either way. You know, you gave me something that I needed to see. You know what I mean? You gave the people something that they needed to see. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, I feel like if it was a loss in any type of way, it was that type of loss.
Is it easier or harder to convince heavyweights to get in the ring with you now?
It's hard. It's always been hard, you know. I take my hat off to any guy that says yes to fight me. You know, it's always been hard. It's still hard, you know, to fight anybody, you know, in the top 10. You know, you run into them, you see them in the gyms, you see them at fights, ask them. They'll tell you, probably, if they're honest, they'll tell you, I ain't fighting that guy, you know. I mean, believe me, we've gone after a lot of guys in the top 10. They've been offered good money, good venues, good, you know, exposure. Turn it down.
Venues, speaking of venues, is that, you know, including traveling to other, you know, countries to fight these guys?
No. I'm talking about the offers that we've made to other top fighters, you know.
Has anybody,
I've gotten
you know,
some offers from overseas, but for the amount of money that it would take to travel over there. So, of course, I'm not going over there for no pennies, you know.
Okay. Well, okay, you got to fight with Fred Cossey on November the 8th. Also fighting that day is Bernard Hopkins. Does that, you know, hurt you think the amount of eyes that are going to pay attention to your fight?
Well, obviously, you know, I mean, you're going up against a guy like Bernard Hopkins, and then his challenger has a lot of fans, and this is the guy that, you know, has a chance of taking them out of there and retiring them. You know what I'm saying? So this could be one of Bernard's most watched fights, you know. But at the same time, I do have a lot of loyal fans, and I'm sure they'll be tuning in. You know, a lot of my loyal fans they're going to watch.
Dude, I know you believe you're the biggest puncher at heavyweight. Do you think Kovalev is the biggest puncher at light heavyweight?
No.
No? Who is?
The guy in Canada. What's his name?
Donnie Stevenson?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's definitely the biggest puncher in that division.
Would you favor Stevenson over Kovalev if they fought?
Yeah.
Cool.
I don't think that Kovalev's a good enough boxer to get away from that type of puncher. But I think Stevenson's a decent enough boxer to get away from Kovalev's power. I think, you know, Bernard, you know, he definitely, you know, is on the, you know,
right,
it's
downside, right,
it's reality. But he's a great enough boxer to get away from this guy's power. You know, he's a good enough boxer to get away from this guy's, you know, strong points.
You know, speaking of, you know, advanced stage, you know, you're not a spring chicken yourself.
Yeah.
Do you see any signs of slowing down at all?
And you think I'm slow?
No, I don't. But I'm saying, you know, a fighter, you know, how he feels physically is, you know, is something we can't see.
No. Well,
so, how long of a shelf life left do you think you have?
I have a very realistic corner. You know, you see the guy with me, Calvin Davis, very realistic brother. You know, if he didn't think, you know, I could do something, he'd be like, look, man, you know, slow down, you know what I mean, you're not fast enough or whatever, you know what I mean? And then too, when I do train, you know, it'll be a tell sign. You know, when your body tells you it's over with, you know, even if you're the last to realize it, people around you are going to see it, you know? And if somebody starts saying, oh, he's slowing down, oh, he's talking crazy, or something like that, you know what I'm saying? Then I'll pay attention to that, but until that happens, I'm cool, man. I got a Lamborghini, man, for a body, you know? We can go, man, you know what I mean? You know?
So as long as you know, feel physically, you know, good in the ring, you want to keep fighting. So you're not going to set a limit on how old you'll be?
No. No, when my body tells me it's done, it's done. You know what I'm saying? When your body tells you, that's when it's time to go. You know what I mean? I've been fortunate enough not to have 300, 400 amateur fights. You know what I'm saying? That's why Bernard could fight at 49 and still talk fluently. He doesn't slur when he talks. He doesn't bounce around. You know what I'm saying? Because he didn't have 200, 300 amateur fights. He jumped right in the pro ranks just like I did. You know, and so you have a longer shelf life. A lot of times in boxing, a guy turns 29, 30 with 20, 25 pro fights. He's done. But people don't take into context of him having 200, 300 amateur fights.
Okay.
You know, that's a lot of wear and tear on you, man.
All right, so back to your opponent, Fred Kasi. I know you don't really know anything about him, but you know, how do you see the fight going from, you know, what you gathered from your trainers? And
I'm a dominant fighter, you know what I mean? So, you know, when you get in there, you're gonna have to weather my storm, you know. And so anybody that get in there with me, they're gonna have to weather my storm. And like I said, one of the things that I learned from the Cunningham fight was just don't lose your composure. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people think that I may have ran out of gas or whatever, but I threw 535 punches in that fight. When you run out of gas, you don't throw 535 punches. You know what I'm saying? You don't land at a 54% rate, you know, when you run out of gas. You know what I'm saying? That's more punches than Maidana threw against Mayweather in 12 rounds. You know, these lightweights. You know what I'm saying? So, but I lost my composure. You know what I'm saying? I lost my composure, and so instead of swinging like this, I was swinging like this. You know what I'm saying? And as long as I just keep my composure and keep my storm going and keep my pressure going, nobody gonna be able to withstand that. Nobody.
all right. Anything else you want to say in closing?
No, man. Just keeping it moving, man. You know what I'm saying? Working hard, training hard. You know what I mean? Putting all this. This is putting money in the bank when you in here in the gym. When you see me working, I'm putting money in the bank, man, so I can spend it November 8th once I get in that ring. You know?
Yeah, November 8th, Sands Bethlehem, televised by NBC Sports.
Yeah.
All right. See you then.
All right, bro.